If I ever run out of tomato sauce, we're in trouble. Good morning, everyone. I see that we've found a new time. We're going to start this morning with invocation and the pledge by Tom.
Would you please stand if you are able for the invocation and pledge? Gracious Lord and Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this day and for the privilege of living in your world and for bringing us to this time and to this place. Now, Lord, we pray that you would be with our meeting today. May we bring glory and honor to your name. May the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart be acceptable in your sight. Amen.
Amen.
So will be.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
We're going to make the sign-in process easier next week. It's going to be next month. It's going to be alphabetized. So we learn from our mistakes. Okay, we need to have our minutes from the last meeting read. And I apologize, we had a little hitch there. We're having a lot of hitches right now. Anyway, by next month, I hope to have them in your mailbox so we don't have to read them. So you can read them before you get here. All right.
Do I need this?
Yes.
Do you like that?
Closer to your mouth.
And I can't read it. I'll let you hold it. Okay. The meeting, Beverly Taylor called the meeting to order and asked Dick Snow to do the opening prayer, followed by everyone reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Secretary and Treasurer's reports were read and accepted. Bev said that a $5 donation is in our bylaws and should be given to Karen, our treasurer. She mentioned that we might plan something in April to greet new people and reminded us to personally welcome new residents when they move in, offering help if needed. Dave Flory had some comments on Glade plugins being allowed in our apartments and said he would get back to us with the answer. Our guest speaker was Jody, head of housekeeping. We can also call Jessica with any cleaning questions. It was explained that if you want your counters cleaned and your furniture dusted, you must remove all personal items from the areas you want cleaned, or they won't be done. And I never knew that. Okay, and under the new business, Bev proposed that our meeting time be changed to 11 to accommodate those of us who attend Bible study from 10 to 11 a.m. Her proposal was seconded and it passed. And if it seems long, they're really not long, but I printed everything with one hand. Some residents commented that the chairs on the 4th floor didn't match. Dave Flory replied it was only temporary. His furniture was going to be moved around due to the elevator being put in. Bill Irwin proposed that the first floor table, oh, he didn't propose it. Okay, he said that the first floor table has a lot of donations on it for people to take, and at times it gets quite messy looking. He wondered if these items could be put elsewhere, and Dave responded that he'd look into it. Vegetables are usually put there by the residents, and they are okay to have in our lobby. Comments were made to have a decorating committee do the table, so it would, be appealing for potential new residents to see as they will be shown around by Stacy and other people who bring potential new residents to visit. And so the items that are now on the York Right lobby table, and Dave would talk to Stacy about providing items so that to decorate the table with. Comments were made about parking their scooters on lower levels when they went to resident parking lots once construction started. Dave will talk, well, we can't talk to Tony now. Dave will talk to the person in charge with this concern. And he mentioned that our Valentine party has over 150 people signed up. We were reminded that no guests were allowed due to the lack of space. Dave also said we were allowed, no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this through the bifocals.
That's okay.
Dave also went over the menu for the party and asked that we be there by 5 p.m. Our dinners will be served to us. He said the regular dining room will also be open for people who aren't going. Dave mentioned who would be our upcoming entertainers for the month in the auditorium. He reminded residents that our podiatrist only comes here every 6 weeks, and when you call to make an appointment, you're just going to get an answering machine and just leave that information, and she does get back to you and will give you a time to be there. We also found out that AARP will be doing tax returns free during the end of the month. Be sure to sign up if you want this done. So Dave will know how many tax preparers to ask ARP to send to us.
Skip down to that. Skip down to here.
Oh, okay. Our postmistress, Terry, talked about missing parts of the paper kept at the desk, especially the comics and the crossword puzzles. She will copy the crossword puzzles for you if you bring them to her. That way everyone can have a chance to read the paper. The person at the desk is to put the newspaper in the library for all to read. Bev ended our meeting with the Serenity Prayer. Our next meeting is March 6th at 11 a.m. And that's it. Any additions or?
Any additions or corrections?
No.
Okay, well, they're accepted. And our treasurer, Karen. Karen. To me, she's a Nancy. I'm sorry.
Treasurer's report. It's a beginning balance of $705.38. We had $45 worth of donations, which brought the balance up to $750.38. So we've had a total of so far of 8 donations of worth $45.
Any additions or corrections?
And if you have your $5, you may give it to her at the end of the meeting. And as we have mentioned, this is not a dues. Where's
I got it.
Thank you.
The $5 is not dues. It's a contribution or a donation. We don't have dues. We have a contribution or a donation, which means you do not have to pay. It would be nice if you did, but you don't have to.
Is this is this every time we come or just once a year?
Once a year. Oh, good grief.
Oh, no.
Every time we come, I resign. Can't afford it. Okay. Let's see. We have a guest today. We actually have two guests. Terry's going to speak to us again today. But we're going to start with Brian, who's going to talk to us about security and the fire alarms. And here he comes.
I think I'm good. Pretty thick.
You want
If
the
I'm not-
microphone?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
You good? If I'm not, let me know. I think most of you know in here, we've been through this before. There's a couple new faces. There's a couple things I want to go over. First of all is if there's a fire or fire drill, fire alarm. Also along them lines, I think about possibly instituting fire drills also for Scottish Rite. I think it's kind of a good idea. I think if you actually partake in something, actually physically do something, I think that's better than just us informing you what you need to do. So I think we might institute that as a policy here. So, but first off, if there's a fire alarm going off, just know one thing, most of all. More times than not, it's a false alarm or something small that we can handle, okay? You guys need to obviously stay in your rooms, all right? Again, we've been over this. Scottish Rite especially, it's concrete and steel. There's fire-rated doors, fire-rated walls, okay? So your best place is in your room with the door shut, all right? If we need to get to you or evacuate you, we'll come to you, all right? There's a couple reasons for that. Number one, obviously you don't want to let any smoke get in if there's smoke in the hallway. We'll keep it out of your room. Number two, we don't want people running around trying to get down the stairs if there's really not a big issue to have to evacuate. Okay, that's just going to get somebody hurt, or we're going to lose somebody somewhere. Okay, so just stay in your rooms with the door shut. All right. If we have to evacuate somebody, like I said, we'll come get you. Springfield Fire will be here at that point, and they'll assist us with that. So everything, you know, will be ongoing at that point. The other thing that's kind of important, because I've had a lot of residents come to us and ask us about it, actually demand tickets for traffic infractions. So what we're doing is, we already hand out tickets, but when I went through the policy, I don't really like the way the policy's set up, policy and procedure, so I've been working on trying to revamp that a little bit. So once that goes out, we're going to put it out to everybody. We're going to enforce that because we've had too many close calls on campus. We've had a lot of people come to us and say they don't like where they're parked, how they're driving. But the thing with it is, whoever still drives a car on campus, not just staff, visitors, it's residents as well. You still have to obey the stop signs, the speed limits, and where you're supposed to park. Okay, it involves everybody who drives a car, not just staff and visitors. It's you guys too that still drive. Okay. When we revamp it, we're going to have it's going to be discretionary for security to put the ticket on. We're going to write warning on the ticket. We're not going to keep it. For residents, it's going to be a little bit different. You know, we're just going to make sure we acknowledge you about what to do, what not to do with it. Staff, visitors, contractors, we're going to keep the carbon copy, and then we'll issue, after they get about, I think it's going to be 3, then we take steps to either discipline or not have them back on campus or whatever we're going to do. But so we have discretion there to write warning on it and not keep the ticket or whatever we want to do. But once I get that revamped, we're going to start handing them out. And I think that should mean a lot to you guys because there's been too many close calls I've seen and people coming and said with the speed and with the stop sign running. That includes golf carts. Golf carts can't run stop signs either. So it's a vehicle. Okay, so So once that gets revamped, we'll put it out there, everybody will know what's going on, okay? And if you have any more issues with that, just let us know. And again, I'll let you know too, if we start implementing fire drills, if Sassy State would actually like us to do that, we do it with assisted, so we might just start going with you guys too. So, and know again that once the fire alarm happens, we're there pretty quick, okay? Most of the time, it's except false alarm, somebody just cooked something and got some smoke. Once we ventilate the room, we can reset the fire alarm, okay? But there's no reason to be going all over the place if there's not a reason to evacuate. I don't want anybody to get hurt, okay? So just please stay in your room, shut the doors, all right?
Yeah, and in case there is a fire, they'll evacuate the one up above, below, and to the sides.
And
Okay.
across the hall.
Right, across the hall.
That would be the minimum, that's the max. So if say, obviously if you're on the first floor, that can't, you're going to do above and beside, but that's going to be, if there's actual fire in that room, that's going to be kind of the minimum we're going to do. If we get to that point, it gets worse, then I say we're going to do the whole building, okay? By that time, Springfield Fire will be here, okay? So that's kind of where we're at with it. So your best bet, even if you hear it going off, we see people open the door, come out in the hallway, we'll run down the hallway, just stay in your room, we'll let you know what's going on. We'll make announcements on the PA, we're going to start making sure those are done, and especially when it's all clear so you know everything's okay. So, but just keep your door shut and stay in there. It's the best thing you can do, okay? Lower level, we've said this before, first floor, you're independent. So far, if you need to get out, if you want to get out, that's up to you. I'd rather not third, fourth floor, and all that be doing that, okay? So, it's kind of where it's at. If you have any questions, you can always come to us and ask us, okay? We know we're here all the time, so if you got any comments, questions, or where you'd like, hit us up, okay?
Yeah, so fire alarm, stay put. Don't be nosy. Don't be peeking out the door in case there is
I don't want
smoke.
to run
There's
into
smoke in the
anybody.
hall.
Yeah. We don't want to run anybody over, knock them over either, so let's just
Right.
watch out.
All right. Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep. Hang on, man.
I didn't know anything about tickets, so I learned something new today.
Actually, wasn't much going on with it when I got here. I noticed we had a ticket book in the security truck, and I started looking more into it, and I had residents come to us and say, reporting people are saying this is going on, so I looked more into it and I watched people, and it is pretty unsafe in areas. It needs to be safer than it is, and that's what our job is. So we're going to enforce that and make sure people come on this campus and do what they're supposed to do. There's rules to follow, so that's what we're going to make them do, okay?
You guys know I've been in a lot of different departments since I've been here, and housekeeping's one of them, and I just asked you guys to please, if you have glass, if you could put it in the appropriate containers in your trash rooms, because when we go to empty the trash, broken glass isn't fun to get around, but I'm just asking if you could be more aware of throwing glass bottles away.
Yeah, especially you ones on the 3rd and 4th floor. Because when it hits, it makes a big old bang and it
Shatters.
scares the crap out of me in my office.
That's why
Wakes
we
him up,
do it.
too.
That's why we do it,
Yes, it does.
if you're awake.
Who knew getting rid of trash could be so difficult?
I know. I'm so entertaining until you hit.
Okay, thank you. Terry? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, you talked about glass. If it's already broken, that's easy. There's a little thing there. But even if it isn't, if it's just a bottle, a booze bottle, you put it
Put
in
it in
there.
there. Put your booze
Yeah.
bottles in there, baby.
Okay,
Any bottle, because what happens when it does come, like you said, from the 3rd or 4th floor, it shatters and it rips those bags wide open. So,
well,
I mean, and I noticed that because I was in housekeeping for a month and that's what I did, and I thought, wow, that's a mess, and I don't want anyone to get hurt.
What did you say to do with the glass bottles?
Just put them in there's usually a 5-gallon bucket there.
In your trash rooms.
In your trash room,
Oh.
put them in there.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should have a sign there that says to put all glass, not just
Does.
broken
I think
glass.
it does. I will
Yeah, it says
double
put
check
all
to make
glass
sure.
in
Okay, all right. Any other questions for security? Okay, Terry?
Oh, we got one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's you.
I came late out of dinner one night and all the fire doors were closed. There must have been an alarm and I didn't hear it.
Now, sometimes also, if we put a building to test, anytime you're gonna run water through the system or anything like that, the doors will release, the magnet will release the doors and they'll shut.
So
We
my
can't-
question was to myself at that time, do I just push the doors open? Am I gonna set off another alarm?
No, you can open back up. They just, only thing they won't do is they won't magnetize until we reset the system. They'll just close back shut, so they'll be
Okay,
fine.
because the sign on them says it'll
Yeah.
set off an alarm.
No, that's already once it's done. So once you open back up, once it's demagnetized, it's fine. Yep. Absolutely.
So these should be on every floor, and I know this says broken, but it needs changed to all glass. But these are in the trash rooms on each floor.
Sign outside the door too.
Okay, yes?
With respect to the fire alarm, perhaps the reason people will go out into the hallways is that the only speaker for the announcement is out in the hallway.
Yes.
For people like myself with a little bit of restricted hearing, others, perhaps worse, can't hear it. Don't know what it is. So
That's why,
there's a method to get that message across. Otherwise, it would be beneficial.
well, the reason, also, if you notice too, the PA, the announcement says when the national alarm goes off to evacuate, which that's put in the system by Siemens, which we can't change, which is kind of silly because it doesn't apply to us, but they have to change and they haven't done that. That's what we're also saying, if you stay in your room, even though you kind of want to know what's going on, if it's going to affect you personally, in whatever room you're in, we're going to come to you, okay?
It's
So
not
the best
all bad.
thing, yeah, the
I'm
best
just
thing,
trying to come up with an alternative. Should
Yeah.
there be a method for an alternative as well as that announcement? It would be more helpful to those that are wandering up and down the hallway in the third and fourth floor.
well, yeah, that's what we're kind of saying, if you just, we could try to come up with something, but like I said, if we make announcements, you can't hear it as well, or even if the system goes off here as well, we'd have to go to each room or each door when we're trying to figure out what's going on with the situation at the moment. That'd be kind of difficult to do, but that's why until we maybe come up with something, maybe we can. In the meantime, like we're saying, just if you just stay in your room, we need to get you, we'll come to you, okay? If you don't hear from us, then you know everything's pretty good at that point. Then we'll make it all clear, hopefully you can hear that. If not, eventually you'll come out of your room, I suppose, at some point, right?
Okay.
We'll look into it, see if we can come up with something. I don't know, maybe someplace has something like that we don't know about. That, see what we can do, okay?
Well, we all get automatic phone calls telling us, those that are listed, about different announcements throughout the day. That doesn't seem to have a problem getting us information.
It takes a few minutes to punch that in. I think by then, all hands are going towards the fire.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, I think. I understand where you're coming from.
I'm all done.
Yeah.
All right, any more questions, comments? Okay, Terry?
Terry?
Oh, Bessie.
I heard someone say they got it. Could you stand closer? I can't see you for the post.
Oh, hey.
And that goes for you too, Dave.
Okay.
Well, we have to have the post, or the ceiling will be a very low ceiling.
I don't need
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
it. I do?
Yeah.
Okay, I do.
Yes.
I just want to mention the pets, the pet registration. I've only received 3 of the pet registration forms back, and that leaves several that have not turned them in. I would like for these to be turned in as soon as possible. It would help my job go a little bit smoother. If you could just do that for me in the next, couple, 3 weeks, that'd be great. And I could put this baby to rest. We won't have to worry about it until next January. So that's all I needed. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to have to go knocking on doors. But I will.
Thank you. Any questions about the pets? Are the newspapers doing better?
They're doing better yeah.
Okay.
I leave it at the front desk and they just ask for it if they want to read it. So that seems to be working.
If you have visitors coming to stay with you that have a pet, is that okay?
Yeah, pets are allowed to stay up for, I think, a 2-day period. okay, but we do want to know about it, that you got a pet that's visiting. But the pet rules also, you know, the visiting pet also has to go by the rules. It must be on a leash at all times.
Oh, okay.
When not in the unit. Okay? And you pick up after your pet. Because when summer gets here and the grounds start to complain when they're mowing out there and they have to run over that pet droppings that's been sitting out there in 90-degree weather, I hear about it.
Okay, moving on. Report from the Board of Directors. Tom?
Thank you, Beverly. First off, I want to thank you all for moving your time to 11 o'clock. That allows us to finish our Bible study, which starts at 10, and we've been there 2.5 years. I appreciate that. Second off, I guess I'm here to explain what I'm doing at this meeting. I'm not a resident of Scottish Rite, and I'm not an employee of the facility. But I presently hold the position of resident representative to the Springfield Masonic Community Board of Trustees. Now the title and a couple bucks will get you a cup of coffee over at the community center. But Beverly and I thought that you need to be aware of what it is and I think why it is. For your information, as independent residents, we are kind of on our own. Now, Tony has told us that many times at community center. You know, if you don't have to fix your plumbing and you don't have to fix your garage door, but if you need medicine delivered, if you need groceries delivered, David don't do that. So we are not a part of the certified community on this campus. The certified community, which is Pathways and Rickley and Assisted Living, all have representation and complaint resolution through the Ohio Department of Health. We don't have that. The Ohio Department of Health probably wouldn't pay too much attention to me. So the Springfield Masonic Community Board of Trustees thought it was important that we have a level of representation for issues resolvement for the independent living residents of the community, which I'm a part and which you're all a part. Now, when I came, a guy by the name of Bill Selsom was the representative. We came, Helen and I came during COVID. Nobody was having any meetings like this. Bill passed away in 21, I think the spring of 21, and they kind of advertised a position, and I remember when it was advertised, we were here then, and Brenda Kennedy was selected as the resident representative to the Board of Trustees. Well, Brenda gave it up because of her health, and she has since passed away, and she lived down in the Villas. And when it was notified the next time, I put in an application, and lo and behold, here I am. So what do we do? Well, I think the easiest way to explain it is you have a set of officers, and those officers, along with the Villa officers, once a month we get to meet with the president and David, kind of in a little conclave of how's it going lately, where we listen to what Tony had to tell us, what David had to tell us, and then they listen to what the issues that we felt we needed to talk about. So that occurs once a month, and Bev and Kay and Karen and Charlie, when he's here, will attend to that meeting with the rest of us. And then once a quarter, Bev will be invited to there is a residents relations committee of the Springfield Masonic Community Board of Trustees, and that is headed by a lady by the name of Marie Fagans. And if you know Marie, she's the chief person down at United Senior Service, and she's pretty sharp lady. So Bev and I will attend that. They allot us 15 or 20 minutes. Bev will come for 15 or 20 minutes, and then I will go with the president of the villas for 15 or 20 minutes, and we get people from Rickley and Cunningham and York-Wright. They are allowed to come, and Marie listens to our issues that we have, and then she takes those to the Board of Trustees of the Springfield Masonic Community. Now, I'm presently allowed to attend that meeting, and you would say that's a conflict of interest. I'm president of the Villas Association and that board representative. It is, and before this was resolved, Tony and David saw no problem in that, but you know, do I think it's a conflict of interest? No, not really. You're just two different layers. But so then Maureen takes issues that she thinks isn't being resolved by David and Chrissy and Terry and everybody else, housekeeping, issues that aren't being resolved. She has access to the Board of Trustees. So it is an issue-related position. I am not allowed to attend these meetings. I am supposed to attend these meetings, and I will do that to the best of my ability. But if in your wonder, I don't see it as a complaint department because I don't like to use the word complaint. I would rather use the word issues. If we have issues here, we generally think of David, and I will assure you, no subdivision I ever lived in before I got here had anybody like David Flory running around trying to solve my problems. And that's what he does for all of us. But I don't think we lend on him, but if there are issues that don't get addressed, Bev has a couple shots at him. She has a shot at the president and David, then she has a shot at that subcommittee of the Board of Trustees. So that's what I do, and I thank Bev for inviting me here. And does it mean anything? Like I said, a couple bucks, you can get a cup of coffee at the community center. But thank you for your time. But I think it's important that we remember that we are independent living, and that has totally different connotations associated with it than assisted living and skilled nursing in Rickley. And I guess that the board recognizes that. Hopefully we all recognize it. Thank you, Beverly.
Thanks, Tom. So if you have any real important issues that need to come before the board, see me. It's more for things that, not like the table out there, decorating the table or something like that. It's important things. Anyway, old business. There is if you, talking about the table, we don't want to put things on the round table anymore. If you walk into the common area, right on the left, there is a chest. And I will take, there are things on the chest, and I will take those things off, decorations, I'll move those. And that's where we're going to put our shareables. So it's close to where it was, but it's not out for God and everybody to see. And it'll make it a more pleasant entrance into Scottish Rite. So if you have things that you need to share, just to the left, there's a chest, put it there. Now, as we talked about earlier, vegetables, when you all gardeners grow your tomatoes and peppers and things and want to share us with those of us who don't do that, we'll be happy to put those on the round table. Now, we talked about, Dave, were you going to talk to Stacy about decorating that table?
I have not done that yet.
Okay, well, put that for next month. Is there any new business?
Unless you have a volunteer that wants to do it, that would be even better.
Okay, well, think about that. If you want to volunteer, you and a friend to, well, where are we going to get the stuff to put on it? We have to buy it?
Then we'll get with Stacy.
Oh, okay. If we can get somebody to decorate it, we'll get with Stacy to see how we're going to do it. Okay, is there any new business today? No new business. Okay. All right, Dave.
My turn?
Your turn.
Okay. Bessie, can you still see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Now I can't see these two. I'll get a little closer. Bill, zoom out. Zoom out, Bill.
Yeah. Stand still.
What's that?
Stand still.
Okay, you know I can't stand still. I'm going to go over a couple things that are on the what's happening calendar. You guys all get this, but I do like to point it out when I'm at these meetings. There's a few things that are coming up. There's music with James Leach. He'll be here March 12th at 1 o'clock in the auditorium. Everybody can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. The boutique is open this month on March 13th from 11 to 3. That's a Thursday, I believe, so go out and those items at the boutique are free. If you see something you like, take it, okay? The ladies put a lot of time into that boutique, and they love it when they see new faces in there. So please go down and visit the boutique. We have Coffee Connection scheduled for next Friday. It's always the second Friday of the month. Coffee Connection, that meeting is a meeting run by the president of the campus, okay? And you all know Tony's been gone for about a week and a half now, or 2 weeks. So the meeting is still scheduled, okay? I'm hoping Steve Pettigene, who is the COO of the Ohio Masonic Communities, he was Tony's boss, will be sitting in for Tony next week. But don't be surprised if you get a one call saying I canceled Coffee Connection, because usually that meeting is run by the president of the campus. I'm just his sidekick. So when we get the new president here next month, I'm sure they'll be at this meeting. Okay. What else? The Mall at Fairfield Commons trip we got scheduled. I know in the past we've had trouble getting at least 5 people to go to those on that trip. And with that trip being so far away for our transportation bus to go, we need at least 5 people. So I've had a few ladies come to me. They want to go to the Green this month. So we are changing it from the Mall at Fairfield Commons. They're going to go to the Green. They're going to go shopping. I can't remember that. What's that big anchor store? Bon Mar? Is that what it's called? Anybody know? Nobody? I think it's called Bon Mar because Macy's is leaving the mall or something. So they want to go there, then they're going to go eat at the Cheesecake Factory. So if you're interested in going on that trip, sign-up sheet is out there at the community center, okay? I know they had 5 or 6 ladies already gearing to go to the Green. If you're not familiar with what the Green is, it's an outside mall. There's a lot of walking unless you just go to one particular store. But they're going to park the bus at that Bon Mar, I believe that's what it's called. It's a fancy Macy's. Fancy Elder Beerman's is what it is. So, too rich for my blood. I've never been in there. Then we've got, Stacy's got Chad Collier. He's a mentalist and magician. He'll be here March 19th at 3:30. Anybody see him when he was here last?
Yes.
I missed it, so I heard it was really good. I'm planning on being at this one. He is good. That's what I've been hearing. So come out and show your support March 19th at 3:30. Then my events committee. We've got the ladies decided to do something totally different, and they're calling it the Super Supper. I've got 6 of my events committee ladies that have volunteered to make their specialty soup. So depending on how many people sign up, the sign-up sheet is out at the community center. We'll determine how much soup they're going to make, each of them. So if you could sign up, if you sign up, show up, please, because you know it's very important that we get a good head count for this. So Super Supper, but we got chicken and wild rice soup, ham and bean, chicken and noodle, broccoli and cheese, taco soup. I'm interested in that one. I can't say I've ever had that. Potato soup. We're also going to have homemade cornbread and yeast rolls. And my sister volunteered, I asked her, she didn't volunteer, to make some Texas sheet cakes for us, because I love her Texas sheet cake. It's chocolate, and it's about that thin. It's like a big brownie. So we've got that coming. Then, other things. The gift shop. I'm looking for a volunteer. I've got Joanne Prim, who has been a volunteer in that gift shop for the last 18 years. Think about that. 18 years she's been volunteering weekly to work, I believe on Wednesdays is what she works. And is it Thursday? Okay, I can never put them. So Thursday, so she's going to retire. I told her she couldn't retire until she found a replacement. So we are looking for anybody who would like to volunteer and work the gift shop. It'll be on Thursdays from 11 to 3, okay? You don't have to be real tech savvy, but it would help if you can.
The good way to meet a lot of people.
You'll meet a lot of people, yes. And I'm not that strict of a boss. I don't snap the whip or anything. You guys just take care of the customers. I usually take care of the stocking and ordering and all that kind of crap that comes with it. So, but if you're interested, get with me, because Joanne's ready to take a break, okay? On the calendar also, it looks like I forgot, Drum Circle with Liz. That'll be, she's our, I know she's got a different title now. She's our music therapist.
Yep.
So she's going to be there March 20th at 10 o'clock in the auditorium. Not quite sure what that entitles, but I guess there must be a bunch of drums and everybody sits in a circle. Am I right? Is that okay? So show up if you want to pound some drums and sing with Liz. Please show up there. The last thing I got, the tax guy. I finally got a date. He will be here Friday, March 28th. Pete, you didn't return my call. I got you set up for a tax time, so get with me after this. You signed up to have your taxes done?
Your taxes, you signed up to have taxes done.
Pete, get with me after this meeting. Yeah, get with me. Don't leave. I got to talk to you. Everybody else I called, and the ones that I did call, I do have a paper for you to have. It's kind of like a questionnaire, a checklist to make sure you got all your documents before you get to the appointment. So, because they want to get you in and out. I have 25 people signed up, and I contacted United Senior Services, Jonathan, and told him. So he's got 5 preparers, and then I leave for a week, and I get 4 more people call wanting to be added to the list, and he told me don't add any more. So I sent him an email earlier in the week, and he was able to find a 6th tax preparer. So we're gonna have 30 people getting their taxes done. It'll be March 28th. It'll be in the clubhouse. All of you know who's getting it done. I've already contacted you, and you know your time. And get with me. I know you were on that list. I've got the paper for the ones that need it. Okay? I think it's.
The time on there is wrong?
Oh, the time on this calendar is wrong because I wasn't here last week to proofread it. When it came back and they just sent it, and so it won't. The time for this meeting. The time for this meeting says 10 a.m. on the What's Happening calendar. Next time it'll say 11 on the next one. Does anybody have any questions for me? Everybody's good with the fire alarm and trash. It was another, I heard it was from I don't remember the name of the pet. It wasn't from this campus.
Oh, it wasn't? Was it
No.
cat either?
No. They had a pet Super Bowl. It was on Facebook or Twitter, or I don't do any of the social media stuff, and you could go in and vote on your pet.
Yeah.
I know Joan Farrell's Hershey was on it. So,
1 2 most of the time.
yeah, I think she made it to the final or quarterfinals or something. So. But other than that, does anybody got any questions? Everybody doing all right? Bill, welcome back. I got a new resident in Scottish Rite. Marty, wave your hand. Marty moved up from the villas. She's in Scottish Rite 101. Please welcome Marty. I don't see any other new faces.
And Sonny Moore coming. Yeah.
Sonny Moore, he'll be coming from 9A. He'll be coming to 401 or 409. Scottish Rite 409. That'll be probably Chrissy left. She's in charge of those internal moves. Probably in the next few weeks at least. It shouldn't be long.
What did you say that was?
Sunny Moore,
And that's 409?
409. 409. All right? We all good? Okay. That's all I got, Beth.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything they want to add to the meeting today?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to propose that we have a microphone that's either portable or usable. It seems like I'm the only one that has a hard time hearing, but I have my hearing aids at home at the dresser. They're not here. However,
Well, you should have your hearing aids, Pete.
I know they're.
I mean, if you can't hear my voice or Marv sitting right next to you, Marv's got such a deep, strong voice.
I can hear you now, but why did you bring it up?
See, usually we have this, normally this meeting would have been over in the community center. But as you can see, this crowd that we get when we have it right here, so you guys only have to walk about 10 steps, I get a bigger crowd. If we had it over there, I'd probably have a quarter of this crowd.
I wasn't criticizing the area.
I know. So I got this speaker that I bring down every time.
And you got a screen there. Is that a mic? Is that a...
That's a speaker.
That's the speaker.
Why don't we use it?
We are.
We are. Can you hear me?
But it's glued to your hand. Nobody else uses it.
Well, she used it. Brian probably should have used that.
Yeah, Brian should have.
Next time, we'll make a fact that people use it.
I propose you put it up in my room because I love to sing.
Now, then you know I'll get complaints about all the howling going on.
I sing all kinds of Italian songs, wherever you want, off my balcony with the microphone.
Okay. I'll put that in my memory bank.
Okay, yeah.
Anything else? Okay. Well, we will close the meeting with the Serenity Prayer. Stand if you are able. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Okay, see you all next month. I love